Diana Ape Mama. Hi, Houston. Your stupid stalker hit me up. I had to mute him. Jeez. Yeah. Mute him, block him, report him. Please do. That guy is just relentless. I commented on Twitter this morning about a cute dog, right? And I commented it. Someone replied to me, and then my stalker, Houston Wade is a brazen liar. He's a 40-year-old loser who lives with roommates. And like, the person's like, what? Dude, it's a dog picture. What is your deal, man? Well, you don't realize who you're talking to. You're talking to a guy that's a brazen liar, and he lost a $5 million lawsuit. And like, man, Rick, give it up. No one cares about what you have to think about anything. Rick Reinerson, unemployed, lives in a van, complains about me having roommates. Cool, man. Awesome. Oh no, someone worked in a restaurant. Oh my God, what a scandal. Stalkers are annoying. Okay. Homer's ghost making stalker's gonna be like, he's coming unhinged, can't even dress himself. I cannot dress myself. No. Oh yeah, in stalker news, my stalker got like a 12-hour timeout on Twitter because he's a piece of garbage, and so like hundreds of people were getting notifications that his account had been paused for hours. Yeah, so keep reporting him by all means. I have no problem with you reporting pick battles for spam, for hate speech, for harassment, for stalking. Just report the heck out of that guy on Twitter and on, he also pops up on Reddit constantly. But by all means, army of thousands of followers, take care of that guy for me. Get him blocked. All right. Heather Lee says, your stalker blocked me. Good. That means you're doing it right. Myers, your stalker might be following you to Hawaii. I don't think he's vaccinated, so it's going to be really hard for him. Can't wait for my stalker to write that one. Houston Wade was sued because one of his followers got syphilis. All right. Do we have questions, though, other than just complaining about my terrible internet? I just got a reply on Twitter from Rick Reinerson about you being a fraud and a liar, and you lost a $5 million defamation suit. What is this bull? I'll send you a screenshot on Twitter. That's from Apollo God. Yeah, Rick will send everyone everything. I have not lost a $5 million lawsuit. If I did lose a $5 million lawsuit, I would be begging for money for myself right now for my legal defense fund. No. For those of you who don't know the story, I told it a couple months ago. In 2018, I wrote a series of articles for a local news page that basically put a spotlight on a bunch of dudes who did really terrible things to women and children and had gotten away with it. And those men did not like the fact that I wrote those articles and put a giant spotlight on their personal lives and their arrest records and everything else. Two of those men went to federal prison. One just vanished. He just left the community, and no one's ever heard from him again. Who knows if he changed his name or whatever, but he is gone. And then two guys decided to sue me. Over the course of long, drawn out, lots of witness statements, lots of submitting criminal records for abuse, domestic violence restraining orders, attempted murder, lots of crazy things that these men were doing to women and children, as well as trafficking children through an illegal speakeasy and just gnarly stuff. I filled out interrogatories wrong. So if you don't know what interrogatories are, there's a series of questions that you get from an opposing attorney. You have to fill them out with answers to the best of your knowledge. And one of the questions was demanding me to list any potential witnesses and contact information, phone number and address, if I had it. So I listed, 60 witnesses, potential witnesses and victims. And I didn't have phone numbers and addresses for all of them. Some of them I had email addresses. Some of them I had like Facebook profiles that I could find. So I submitted those, and the opposing attorney had a big shit fit. And so he asked for the court to fine me a whole bunch of money for filling these things out wrong. And the court was kind of a dick and did that. They're like, hey, you fill those out wrong, you're in trouble. And at that same hearing, I got to present the fact that the FBI was investigating the man who was suing me for trafficking children, and that he had been threatening witnesses, and the police were investigating that for felony witness tampering. And explained to him that he may now face federal charges for impeding an investigation of federal officers by threatening those witnesses, and that anything he said in my case could be used in that investigation. And so the judge ruled that I had to pay a fine for filling out those interrogatories wrong, and then said to the guy, hey, lawyer, you give us a filing that says how much Houston's going to owe for filling out those interrogatories wrong and wasting your time. You have 1 year to do it. And we are now, how far are we? 18 months since they're supposed to submit that document. And after a year of not filing anything, court cases get automatically dismissed. Why? Because they know that they weren't going to win this case, and they didn't want to have anything submitted in this case also be used in the federal investigation against him for trafficking kids through an illegal speakeasy. So that's where we are. And how Rick got involved was Rick gave his lawyer to the guy to sue me, because the guy's first lawyer was so trash that I absolutely spanked him in our first hearing, injunction hearing, and I am not a lawyer. So he gave this child molester his lawyer, because that's the kind of guy he is. And Rick Reinierson, if you're watching right now, you have way too many friends who touch little kids. You might want to look up Rick's Nazi skinhead buddy Broussard, who just got convicted for hurting children. And Rick is all buddies with those skinheads. Rick Reinierson is a neo-Nazi, a white supremacist, and a human piece of garbage. So if he wants to sue me for saying that, whatever, man. He's a mountainous pile of dog shit. And he definitely wouldn't donate to a charity to help kids like you guys are. He donates his time and money to help men who hurt children. And that's what he does. So anything you get from Rick Reinierson, my stalker, is to be taken with a grain of salt. Because you'll notice that when he sends that information to everybody, he never includes the witness statements, the criminal records of these men, how, like they hogtied their stepkid and broke all their bones, broke their fingers, and they lost a spleen. They don't include that stuff. They don't include, like, trying to kill their wife in front of their children, or, admitting to cocaine addictions and DUIs and hit and runs and who knows what else. I can go on a rant about these assholes all day long, but I'm not going to put up with their shit. And, they can try whatever campaign they want to make me look like the bad guy, but they're the ones who hurt kids. And I don't play with that. So that's why we're donating to help kids today, because the Rick Reiniersons of the world and their friends can just suck a fat one. And please donate. And you guys did such a great job. We're at $1,200, and we're $1,000 above what I was hoping to raise doing this show. So I'm sure Rick Reinierson has some sort of burner account that he's got in here right now, and he's just so mad that I talk about what a white supremacist neo-Nazi he is. And whatever. Nick Callis, do you know Betty BIU? Person makes cringy videos mentioning you. Really bizarre. Yeah, that's my stalker, Rick Reinierson. He pretended he was this person named Betty and uses that to stalk me and make harassing videos. He created a Facebook page that was like Bainbridge Island Uncensored, because I had censored him for kicking him off various community Facebook groups. And he said he had nothing to do with it, but if you went to the page, it read creator Rick Reinierson, administrator Rick Reinierson, and his wife Highland Hunt. So that's Rick thinking he's being really clever, but we all know he's the dumbest, most obsessed weirdo in the entire world. So yeah, that's Rick Reinierson. Stalking, doing a stalker thing. I report constantly to Twitter about him, because he spends hundreds of hours a month, 18 hours a day, just name searching me and finding any tweet that mentions my name and then commenting under it. So if you're on Twitter and you mention my name, you're going to get some sort of weird cut and paste response claiming that I lost a $5 million lawsuit and that I'm a brazen liar and stuff like that. I report it to Twitter for harassment, and we don't see any harassment here. And so I am constantly in a fight with Twitter, saying, "Hey, he's responding to my tweets and I haven't blocked, and that's not harassment," and they don't seem to care. So that's the world we live in, where stalkers can stalk and no one will do anything about it. All right. My stalker likes to be like, "Oh, he lives with roommates." I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, the house I live in is worth millions of dollars. I have to have roommates to help me pay for this place." So that's, how life works. Armando Antunes says, "Yo, Houston, what's up with your stalker spamming people on Twitter?" That's what he does. He had a bad week a couple weeks ago. One of his previous stalking victims, he had framed for a crime by selectively editing a video to make it look like his victim was threatening people, and got arrested and spent a year in jail. And just recently, the jury acquitted my stalker's victim of that crime, saying, "Yeah, the video was edited. You were free to go." That same week, my stalker's mother died. And instead of, honoring his mother's death, it's basically like, "We're going to cremate her, no services, fuck her." Instead, he spent the entire week spamming anybody who mentions my name on Twitter or on Reddit or anywhere else that he's allowed to still participate. It's what he does. He's a stalker. That's what they do. Serial stalkers are not healthy mentally, and his goal is to get somebody on Twitter to hate me so much that they kill me for him. That's his entire goal. It's called stochastic terrorism. He wants someone to be so mad at me that they hunt me down and do his dirty work for him, so he can be like, "Hey, I didn't do it. It was some other crazy person." And that's what he does. I have no power over this. Twitter won't do anything about it. YouTube doesn't do anything about it. That's the nature of being stalked, and I hope no one ever has to go through it and deal with an insane person following you around everywhere and trying to defame you to any person who's ever contacted you or mentioned you or happened to cross you. It's very stressful and frustrating. Rick Reinierson, my stalker, you suck. You suck so much. That's my stalker talk for the day. Just block them. Everyone who follows me on Twitter or Reddit or whatever, just block the dude. His Twitter is @pickbattles. He's got a whole bunch of sock puppet accounts he uses also, and if you happen across those, just block them. Usually has conversations with himself in his stalker accounts under his own tweets, so you can pretty much just block anybody who follows him or converses with him, and your life is better. Lunar Swine has experience with a stalker. It is exhausting, and the thing is, I know I'm not alone because I know he has like dozens of victims. So we all, talk with each other and share and like try to give each other support, because this guy is unending. He'll make websites about you. He'll make videos about you. He'll cut and paste and make fake tweets, and it's hilarious. He's the other day my stalker was doing his copy and paste thing where he's like, "Houston Wade is a brazen liar," and then he was under somebody else's post, he was saying something about how if Houston doesn't know the answer to something, he says he doesn't know the answer to something, so he doesn't know anything. It's like, wait a minute, if I was a brazen liar, I'd be totally just talking out of my ass. The cognitive dissonance is strong. Yeah. Whew. But it works on a couple of people. I mean, there's a few folks out there who hate my guts, and I'm sure there's a few hedge fund accounts that will amplify my stalker simply because it gives them the ability to do so. But we also have to remember that my stalker's wife is a lawyer who has represented the dark pools. She makes her living off of representing these dark pools that we're fighting against. So, you know, not only my stalker a complete weirdo, but his wife also just happens to be on the other side of this, and that's where her bread is buttered. Oh, Jimmy the Frank, $2 just trying to put up with Rick. Oh, thank you. It's oh man, 4 years of that guy. If you don't ever get stalked, if you have the choice in the matter, that's what I have to say. Was someone had like painted a picture of me as Superman holding the throat of my stalker as Batman. I was like, whoa, this is so weird. Stalking is such a weird thing that certain people do, and it's just unnerving and relentless and time consuming and exhausting and emotionally just draining. So uh, I hope everyone get the help they need for those things. And I hope the perpetrators of stalking get the help they need, because they're mentally bonkers, especially serial stalkers. You know, it's not all people who stalk are mentally ill, but all people who serial stalk are mentally ill. And I hope they get the treatment they need, Mr. Rainierson. Okay. David Morgan says he's got a stalker as well. Yeah, so thank you for donating, David. I feel for you. It's a frigging exhausting nightmare to have to deal with these weirdos, these obsessive weirdos. So we're up to $469 raised for the stalking. Whoa, Anonymous donated $100. Thank you, man. That's fantastic. Whoever did that, thank you so much. We're up to $544 on that. This is fantastic. This is, again, like, I am just getting the warm and fuzzies from all of you. This is so cool. Princess asks, victims of stalking, what is this about? Well, Princess, I am a victim of a stalker. Dude's been stalking me for 4 years. And he's a serial stalker. He moves from like one victim to the next. 4 years ago, I banned him from a community Facebook group for stalking and harassing a very treasured member of our community who got the Japanese internment memorial built on our island, because Bainbridge Island was the first place the Japanese were taken from their homes and sent off to these internment camps out in the desert at the beginning of World War II. And, you know, they deserved a memorial. They lost their homes and farms and livelihoods as a result of that executive action, and a memorial was an appropriate national monument to be built. And the man who stalks me stalked the founder of that monument, and I had banned him from this Facebook group, which resulted in him hounding me every day. So if you respond to any tweet I make on Twitter or on Reddit or Facebook, he will probably contact you and tell you that I'm a loser and a liar and live with my mom and whatever else he wants to put on there, and it's just a pain in the ass. So I'm asking everyone to donate to the Stalking Victims Resource Center. Oh, if my stalker had found this treasure, I'd have been so pissed. I'm so glad he didn't. He apparently made a whole Reddit about how there is no treasure and no one will ever find it, and I'm just a big fat liar. About 20 minutes before somebody found my treasure. Donna Hoder, why is your stalker stalking you? My stalker's stalking me because he's absolutely batshit. He's a serial stalker. I'm just one of many people he stalked over the years. He finds somebody and he just can't let him get him out of his mind. It started a few years ago when I was managing a community Facebook page, and he kept posting over and over again stalking and harassment of somebody else, and I was like, this guy's a weirdo, delete, and I blocked him, and I became his next greatest love. That's why he stalks me, because I banned him from a community Facebook group that he saw as censorship, that I was censoring him from his constitutional right to make someone else's life a living hell. So that's why he stalks me. And he'd kind of lightened off, like backed off. But when my interview with Josh Hamilton of The Gist went viral back in April, he was like, I must stalk him more now. And that's where we are. That he posts about me thousands of times a day. It made a whole Reddit channel about me, subreddit about me. And, you know, it is what it is. I mean, he's absolutely bonkers. He lives in a van in the woods, and I I guess that's what you do if you live in a van in the woods. Joshua Surratt, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat there. That's very kind. Very kind. I just need another 100,000 of those, and we might be good. Cover my losses on that treasure hunt. Yeah. Dr. Stonk Brule for the Anti-Stalker Fund. Oh, thanks for streaming. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Stonk. Thank you. Yes. And keep your eye for that stalker man in the comments. He always likes to show up, especially when I announce ahead of time if I'm going live. I mean, I get tagged and stuff on Reddit all the time where I'm being called a fudster or a shill, and my stalkers made an entire subreddit devoted to me. Oh, all right. Well, Luke can sue me. If you've ever read anything from my stalker, I get sued, man. I don't give a shit. Derek P. Yeah, my stalker's everywhere. He's like omnipresent, man. He spends all day every day just thinking about me and probably beating off in his van. So people sue for stuff all the time. I get sued. my stalker likes to point that out. But you know what? Most of the time those lawsuits just fade away into nothing. All right. That'll be for my stalker to post later. Okay. Oh, it's Cola Caps? Is that Rick Reinierson again trying to stalk me and talk about me getting sued? Whatever, Rick. Okay. That's my stalker. Alright. Yes, get a life, Rick. I don't need to be your world buddy. Me getting sued? Yeah. So alright, this is about my stalker. This question. So this is Convo Trek Conversation on the Road. Can anybody tell me if he covered all the stuff about him getting sued for lying and all that stuff about him being said on the Pick Battles Twitter page? All right, so let me give you the lowdown. 2018, I wrote a series of 5 articles on men in my community who raped and abused women and children and had gotten away with it. Of the 5 men, 1 vanished. He picked up everything and moved and just disappeared and never moved back to the community. 2 of them went to federal prison for raping little kids. And then another 2 decided to sue me for defamation. I was like, bring it on. And they sued me for defamation, and 1 got dismissed because he realized he was probably going to get disbarred. He was a lawyer. He was probably going to get disbarred. And then another guy sued me, and in a year has not filed any paperwork in the case because they know that there's like 60, 70 witnesses that will testify to him being a horrible human being. And the case is automatically dismissed as a result because in Washington State, if you don't file any paperwork, case gets dismissed. So yes, I got sued by some assholes who rape and abuse women. And my stalker seems to like men who rape and abuse women. And so he jumped on board, tried to help them in these court cases, and he follows me around the internet, and he will message and or comment under every single solitary thing anyone's ever written about me or anything where my name is mentioned. So if you want to be on the side of men who rape and abuse women and children, by all means, jump on the Rick Reinierson bandwagon, and you can stalk me as well and be weird and tweet 100 times an hour about me. So yes, I'll cover that. That's, I will take on anyone who hurts women and children. Don't do that. All right. Hope that answers that question. I bet Convo Trek Conversation is my stalker under a different name. So what we're going to do is we are going to, how do I report that guy? Unwanted content. Bye-bye. Okay. Convo Tracker is my stalker. So if you see Convo Tracker, Convo Trek Conversation on the Road, that's Rick Reinierson being complete fucking tool. Rick, you're a stalker. Eat shit.